I'm a grown woman, so it's been years since I've lived by my mother's rules. But there's one thing I will always respect. Never go to bed with wet hair. For my mother, it meant catching a cold. But for me, it was something else entirely. Last night, I decided to break this rule. The weather was just too warm and I had to wash my hair because I was feeling all sweaty and gross. But I hate using the hairdryer, so I just used a towel and went to sleep. The whole night, thumping noises coming from under my bed kept me awake. They were only on my side of the bed. Since my husband was out of town, I rolled to his side. But the noises shifted as well. I know most people would be bothered, but I decided to get up and go to the bathroom to blow dry my hair once and for all. It's not too much work anyways. When I got back, the noises stopped. After that, I spent a good 20 minutes trying to sleep, but I was too happy. So I had to ask, "Drippy, is that you?" A soft thump was all the answer I needed. You see, I was a lonely kid. I only had two friends, Gummy, my pet guinea pig, and Drippy, the monster under my bed. The monster part was so prejudiced. They are actually very sweet. Drippy would never let me sleep having done something I believed to be wrong. Once I stole some change from my mother's purse to buy candy, and he never stopped thumping and making the bed shake until I put it back. Sometimes I couldn't sleep at night because I was sad and lonely. Then I would ask him questions, and Drippy would answer with a single thump for yes or a shake for no. He was so smart, and he really cared about me. I named him Drippy because sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night to soft dripping noises coming from under my bed. I never knew what it was, but I really didn't mind. It helped me sleep like gentle rain on your windowsill. He was there for me even in my teenage years, when I made friends and forgot about him for a long time. Then I smoked weed and didn't like it, but I decided to keep smoking it anyway to be cool. That night he violently shook my bed until I promised him I would never do it again. Ever since I moved from my parents' home in the rural area, I lost contact with Drippy, but somehow he had found me. I didn't have much sleep, but woke up full of joy and was singing while making my breakfast. I didn't have kids, and I work from home, so sometimes I watch my neighbor's kids. Today, I had little Flora over. Flora is usually a quiet kid, but today, she was a bit agitated. So I decided to take a break and play with her. She is 4 years old. Probably some running around will be enough to have her sound asleep on the couch while I got some work done. We agreed to play hide and seek. After finding each other a few times, I was counting when I heard her tiny footsteps disappearing in the general direction of my bedroom. I looked for her everywhere, but she was nowhere to be found. I couldn't even hear breathing, laughing, or the noise of her shoes changing hiding spots. My apartment is not that big, so there's nowhere else she could have been. Then I remembered an episode from my childhood. Gummy had once went under my bed and disappeared. I cried for days until my parents found him somewhere completely unrelated. He was a lot chubbier, and his fur had different color, but my mom told me all guineas are like that. They change colors all the time. That's their magic. He never changed colors again, and he also forgot all the tricks I'd taught him. But I loved him anyway. So here's the thing. I think Flora tried to hide under my bed, and Drippy took her somewhere else. I'll ask him later. In the meantime, I was obviously worried and anxious to tell my neighbor that her daughter went missing. But I made sure to tell her it was very likely Flora would appear somewhere else in a few days. As a result, my neighbor hates me, and made it clear she plans to report me to the police. Today I couldn't sleep because the dripping sounds were so loud and kinda unnerving. Drippy told me he hasn't seen Flora, but I think he's lying. I asked if I could go under the bed to check it out, and he said yes.